Hello class. In this class, we'll discuss about the elements of dialogue writing and how to build effective communication. What are the essential elements that are to be taken care of when we are writing a dialogue? So it's one of the writing skill in your 12th class syllabus. So in today's class, we'll discuss this topic in detail. So how do we communicate? Usually we communicate by asking questions, by giving answers. So dialogue writing is all about this. You can ask a question, you can give an answer. So let's say, for example, you go to market and you meet a vegetable seller. You ask the vegetable seller that what's the price of ladyfinger, let's say. So he tells you some price, and if you're ready to buy, that's okay. If you're not ready to buy, you have to bargain. You tell him your price. So let's say the conversation builds on this tone, and you buy the vegetable. Uh, so conversation, what dialogues are? Dialogues are means to communicate with people, the people who are around you. When you go to some place, you meet a person, you ask him question, he replies you, then he asks you question, you reply. So that's how a conversation is built. So when you are writing a dialogue on a notebook, so there are certain elements that are to be taken care of. So in this class, we will be discussing about those elements. So let's say I have gone to a doctor's clinic. My mother is, let's say my mother is not well, and I have gone to doctor's clinic, and you have to tell about the conversation which happens between you and the doctor. So I'll say, I'll start with this that Mr. Doc says, let's say he knows me already. He says, "Hello, Sahil. Hello, Sahil. How are you?" So usually that's the first thing we do when we meet a person that knows us, who knows us already. So he asks about my health. So what I say, I'll write my own name. I'll say I am fine, doctor. How are you? So as a reply, I tell him that I'm fine, and I ask about his health. I ask him how he is, or I say in my tone, how are you? So you can see here that I have taken great care of the punctuation marks. Here I have used a colon. Here I've used this exclamatory mark. Here I've used a full stop. Here I've used a question mark. Here I've used a colon. Here I've used a question mark, and here a full stop. So it's easy to build a conversation. You just start with asking about someone's health, and then after that, let's say after this conversation, let's say doctor says, "What brings you here?" So certainly you're sitting in a doctor's clinic, he'll ask you what brings you to him. So a doctor asks you that what brings you here, and you tell him that my mother is not well. You'll write here, my mother is not well. So doctor asks you that why haven't you bring your mother with you? So you say to the doctor that my mother is not in a situation to come. She is feeling very weak. So she has asked me to go to you and tell you about her condition and have appropriate medicine. So this is how you will try to build a conversation with the doctor. Doctor will try to know about the symptoms of your mother's health, of the disease, and he'll prescribe you some medicine. You'll go to the chemist and buy a medicine. So at the end, what you will say to the doctor is, "Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor. What about your fees?" So you'll it's very obvious that you have gone to a doctor. He might charge you something. So he asks you, "Yes, Sahil, it's 200 for the consultation." So you pay him you okay. At the end you say, "Thank you, doctor." So you end the conversation on a formal tone. So that's how you build a conversation between any two persons. So one thing you have to take care of is what I have said is punctuation. You have to take care of the punctuation. And second thing is, don't go rash in your dialogues. Be very formal. Be formal. Let's say it is about a conversation is with your mother, a conversation is with your friend. You always try to be as calm as possible in your dialogues. Okay, you take great care of your like you say hello, you say thank you, your personal mannerism, in you take great care of in the dialogue writing. So that's what I mean by being formal. And the third thing is about the length of dialogues, or the number of dialogues that are to be written. So I would say 5 to 6 dialogues of each person's would work. So in the previous example that I've given, 5 dialogues of the doctor and 5 to 6 dialogues of you, that would suffice. You can build a good conversation over topic in these 5 to 6 dialogues. So if your dialogues are a bit longer, restricted to 5, and if your dialogues are small, so you can write 6 each. So it's about 10 to 12 dialogues, and you will be able to write a good dialogue. So if you take care of these 3 elements in dialogue writing, there are chances that you score good. So as a homework, I would say I'll give you to write a conversation between the chemist and you to buy a medicine that is paracetamol. So you have gone to a doctor now. It is quite obvious that after visiting a doctor, you will go to a chemist shop. So now in the chemist shop, you have a conversation with chemist to buy a medicine whose name is paracetamol, and you build a conversation on the same lines. Be very formal. Start with how are you, and end that with thank you, and try to build as formal conversation as possible in between. So that's how I think you will be able to score good. So that's enough for today. So we'll meet up in the next class. Thank you.